Hello there, I'm Lucinda Tinsley of Life Guiding Astrology, and continuing doing the looking at the transits of the outer planets. This video is about Neptune. Now, Neptune for me has always been the most difficult to understand, and funnily enough, I'm having a strong Neptune transit myself now. It's opposing my Saturn and it's squaring my Sun, and it will be all year. So it's quite a tough transit, this. But luckily for me, my Neptune is quite well placed in my chart, which makes a big difference. But doing this project as part of this transit really, and it's really helped me to gain some great insights into Neptune, and especially my own Neptune. So it's sort of opened up my own Neptune more than, it's made me much more aware of it. So I hope this video does the same for you as well, because it's quite intriguing, Neptune. I've come to sort of respect it more. So let's get on. Alright, so the significance of Neptune's transits. So we'll first start by looking at the essence of Neptune's energy. Now, Neptune works from an higher level of consciousness. It has no boundaries, hence why it's so difficult to grasp and understand. Because we usually work from logic and concepts and structure, well, Neptune's not like that. It's just inclusive of everything. Being an outer planet, it works on an higher energy frequency, which is part of our potential, that of our higher selves. So we've got all this, we've got lots of potential in us, and really we are souls and spirits, but we're evolving to that higher aspects of who we really are. It can take you to a different level of consciousness through drugs or alcohol, or it can expose you to some extremely beautiful and ideal influences. Neptune is the higher aspect of love. It's unconditional love. Now, they say that Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, but Venus says, I love you if you love me, whereas Neptune loves you unconditionally. It's universal love, in other words. And this is a really good quote from, I pinched from Stephen Araro. He puts this in a nutshell, and I think this is a really good description of it. It says, Neptune represents the urge to lose oneself in another state of consciousness, whether it's higher or lower, and the urge to escape from the limitations of material existence and its boredoms and limitations of the personality and ego. So we're looking now at how Neptune works. Now, its energy is to dissolve like an undercurrent, slowly eroding your reality. Now, it's very subtle as Neptune. It's not like Uranus or Pluto where they're more direct and you know where you stand more with them. Neptune is much more subtle and works at dissolving things very slowly but surely. It will dissolve Saturn's boundaries and structures. Now, it'll only dissolve those that are limiting you or restricting you in some way, because don't forget, it's an outer planet, so it's really helping you to grow more of your potential. So then Saturn's structures that are limiting you, it will dissolve them. It confuses our sense of responsibility and what we thought was safe and predictable. Now, you can throw your sense of responsibility to the wind under a Neptune transit, because you're sort of under an illusion. Somehow you're in another reality with it. And it can add to your sensitivity, so it can make you much more, you may have much more empathy, and you could use that sensitivity to help and care for others. And if you're creative under a Neptune transit, you can create something out of this world. You're creating what's divine in you. And in imagination is a higher faculty, one of our higher faculties. And spirituality, well, spirituality or religion, Neptune is sort of, it's like a belief system that we all need something to believe in, or believe that there's more to life than this. And psychic ability, now psychics are tuned into other levels of reality, or can see other realities. So if you've got that, if you have any psychic ability, it will open that up more for you. So things to keep in mind with your Neptune transits. So first of all, you need to understand Neptune's meaning in your birth chart, its house position, sign and aspects. Because this is its original statement. This is how it's actually working within you. And that meaning will follow as it transits your chart. So don't forget, transits are there to move us on, to make us grow. So obviously that original statement, that original meaning will be part of that transit. It'll be connected to it, and it'll be very significant towards it as well. And likewise, the planet receiving the transit has to be considered. So you look at the planet, if it's on a planet, you look how that's aspected and the positioning, where it's placed in your chart. And if you can understand all that, then you'll have a greater understanding of your own personal Neptune's transit. And then Neptune takes around 14 years to go through each sign. Therefore, the majority of people will only experience it going through 5 to 6 houses. So this is very much like Pluto. It will only transit part of your chart. So again, it would be really good if you look at the area of life that Neptune will actually transit through your life. And it's got plenty of time to work on a planet and through a house. With 14 years, it'll do its job very slowly but surely. So the impact on transiting Neptune through the houses or by forming planetary aspects can be quite variable, which obviously it will be because we're all unique and different. So how it will affect you will depend on the level of your level of consciousness and how you're aligned with this planet. How it's aspected in your birth chart and the house it occupies, like I said before. And Neptune's influence is strong when it's aspected to your sun and moon, or near ascendant and mid-heaven. Now, it's also strong on all your main angles, you know, the descendant and the descendant, but especially so the ascendant and mid-heaven. And any planet in aspect to Neptune, any personal planet I should say in aspect to Neptune, especially the conjunction, and personal planets are Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter and Saturn. And this, if the sign Pisces or the 12th house is emphasised with having planets or aspects to them, then again you'll have a strong Neptune influence there. And the house where Pisces is on the cusp and the house that Neptune occupies, there'll be a connection with them two areas of life. Right, so this is Neptune transit in general terms. So when it's transiting a house, watch for the affairs of that area of life. Things may not be as they seem. And it may not be a good time to make any commitments because you may not be aware of all the facts. So don't forget, Neptune can be illusionary. These areas of life may become confusing and feelings of being uncertain because Neptune can dissolve your sense of reality for a time as it's going through that house or area of life. So the area of life represented by each house are usually established patterns by adulthood. So these are the structures that you've built up. So changes stimulated by Neptune are often unsettling. Now, change is good when you want it, but when it's forced on you or you don't want it, then definitely it is confusing and unsettling. And feelings of discontent are a desire to escape from whatever we feel is oppressing us or a source of pain in our lives. So Neptune can be used as an escape or a turn off. And I think we all need something to turn off, because life and the world can get at you, or life can be monotonous at some time. So we all need something to turn off to. For me at the moment, watching TV in the evening is my turn off, because if I'm doing astrology all day, my brain needs a rest. And if I'm watching TV, I'm in someone else's reality and I don't have to think. So I do think we all need some sort of escape, and it could be something that you enjoy as well, and it usually is actually if it's a turn off. And also, you know, illness can be a way of avoiding responsibility of life, and that it could be a cop-out, and that's how it works sometimes in someone's life. And I say maybe these are just general terms. So when Neptune's transiting a planet, it will either be purifying or refining it, so a greater sensitivity and application can be enjoyed. Or it will dissolve those old forms indicated by the nature of that planet being transited. So when Neptune's done its job on that planet, so to speak, then that planet may begin to operate in a new way. Don't forget, the planets represent our psychological drives, and Neptune is sort of transforming that in its own subtle way. And Neptunian influences through the housing, especially crossing over the main angles of our chart, are subtler, deeper and more encompassing than many realise. It is subtle, but it's strong, is Neptune. And Neptune is often important to those on the spiritual quest, as this planet can represent a sense of passivity, which requires awakening by stimulation from another planet. So Neptune is often laid back, or it lies dormant for a while, and it's often a transit from another planet that awakens up your spiritual essence. And this could come through a profound event or experience, or a time when you're feeling very vulnerable. And this effect may lead you towards the spiritual path, or it could provoke your interest into higher knowledge, or to find out deeper meaning of life. So it's sort of waking up your spiritual essence in some way. And Neptune's influence is strong in the artist, the poet, the painter, the musician, the actor, the writer. In fact, anything where you can lose yourself within its medium. So creativity, you're becoming a channel. You're using your creativity and becoming a channel. Neptune is a channel for your creativity, in other words. And others use the Neptune in a caring capacity and in service to others. And you know, this could be part of Neptune's objective. It's like to refine and purify and sensitize us, so that we can become a channel for its essence. And it does this through putting us through different situations, which are often painful, but but these are sort of softening us and making us more understanding, and where we can gain empathy. It's sort of breaking down our sense of separateness, so that we can feel and be more of use to others. And Neptune can be part of your purpose, because it's when you really love to do something and when it's expressing your unique quality. And it's this that gives you the most fulfilling sense of yourself. Now, Our homes, our family, our partnerships, all that are really important to all of us. But it's something beyond that. It's something that gives you that greater sense of who you are. And loving what you do while bringing enjoyment or being of service to others. So that is Neptune as well. It's something that you believe in and you feel you're making a difference. All in all, it's expressing the divine within. Neptune is very much part of the divine. It's the Master Jesus. He was a real Neptune character. And he brought in the Piscean age. It's part of the Piscean age. And he brought that in, I think, Jesus. It's the sixth ray of love and devotion. It comes under the sixth ray, Neptune. And therefore has a strong religious and spiritual essence. Because it's something beyond us. It's always something beyond us. And we all need something either to believe in or a reason, a much deeper reason for life itself. Right, to summarise. Neptune's energy is subtle, boundless, dissolving, elusive, inspirational, mystical and spiritual. Neptune is the urge to transcend self. It's beyond self and it's within self. When transiting a house, it can slowly dissolve the structures of that area of life, or it can refine them. Transiting a planet, that ego drive can become confused or idealized, and it may start the process of using that energy in a new way. It can wake up your inspiration, sensitivity, spirituality, and take you to another dimension. And last but no means least, you need to understand your own Neptune's natal position to get a grip on the transit going through your chart. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope you got some insights into Neptune. And if you work with this with your own chart, I'm sure you'll get much more clarity into your own Neptune. And I hope it opens up your Neptune as it did for me. Now, if you've any comments or if you've any questions or any insights you have, then I'd really love to hear from you. So you can either put a comment below or you can send me an email and I'll certainly respond to you. So this is Lucinda saying goodbye for now. And oh, by the way, the next video is going to be on Uranus. So bye for now.